This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All contents provided by this channel is meant for educational purpose only.
I believe this is a new Mandela effect, but don't worry. So if you don't have a brain, don't worry about it. You should be safe.
Swim frequently in lakes and rivers about the possible presence of a brain-eating amoeba. While contact with this amoeba is rare, it is usually deadly. We're taking action for you with details you need to know.
Things turn bad when people dive or swim in water contaminated with the amoeba and water splashes high up into their noses. Naegleria fowleri is an amoeba that has not only developed a deadly taste for human brains, but is also what happens when this monster enters your body. Its natural home is in fresh water, ponds, rivers, lakes, and hot springs. But unfortunately, it also feels happy in pipes, swimming pools, fountains, or spas when they're not properly treated. The warmer the water, the more it thrives and multiplies. So in the summer, when humans seek to cool off and enjoy themselves, the chances are highest that both species will interact. Because this makes it hard to avoid, millions of people regularly have contact with the amoeba, especially in warmer climates.
Of a brain-eating amoeba. While contact with this amoeba is rare, it is usually deadly. As temperatures rise and kids are out of school looking for ways to cool off, a warning about a rare but deadly danger lurking in our fresh waters.
The Florida Department of Health has put out a notice for the state and all its residents and visitors for Naegleria fowleri, which is an amoebic disease that affects people very quickly. If you get this disease, or this amoeba, it will have effects on your body within 5 days. So it's very important that people know what it is and understand how you get it.
The amoeba lives in fresh waters and typically is found during warm periods of time.
So as you see the temperatures in the ponds and the lakes and the rivers rising, we want to be very careful not to be in the shallows, stirring up the muck where this amoeba can be found. And the route of entry is through the nose. So people who are water skiing, for example, in a lake are going to watch and see how much muck has been stirred up. And then if they happen to, fall off the skis and go down, when the water's charged up the nose is really the chance that the amoeba has to connect with the body.
Symptoms to look out for include headache, fever, vomiting, becoming disoriented, having seizures or hallucinations. If you have any of these symptoms after you've been swimming in a warm body of water like a lake, seek medical attention immediately.
Since 1962, we've only had 123 reported cases in Florida. However, in Hillsborough County, we did have a death in 2009.
The death was a child, and the average age of amoeba victims is 12, perhaps because young people are more likely to jump into the water, dive to the bottom, and stir up the areas where the amoebas live. So how can infection by this amoeba be prevented? Well, just don't go in the warm, murky lake areas, or if you do, use a nose clip when you go in the water. Use a nose clip when you go in the water.
Just came in and told us 4 days. You have 4 days with your son.
From baseball in summer sand to a hospital room, Caleb Ziegelbauer's life changed in a single moment last summer. Doctors believe Caleb had been infected after swimming at a Port Charlotte beach by Naegleria fowleri, a brain-eating amoeba. He's a miracle. Here with us, standing, laughing, and telling stories his own way.
Caleb never quits.
For someone who's been through so much at such a young age, Caleb's strength and perseverance is no less than incredible. He's now taking his story and sharing it with others to hopefully prevent anyone else from going through what he did.
Because Naegleria fowleri is over 99% fatal, but 100% preventable.
In a single drop of lake water, there are millions of viruses, bacteria, and amoebae, and that isn't really a big deal. But Naegleria fowleri is different. Let's zoom into the nose of an unsuspecting victim enjoying a great summer day and see what happens. Unfortunately for humans, Naegleria fowleri happens to be exceptionally good at generally flying under the radar of your immune system. Naegleria fowleri enters your tissue. It seems to follow the chemical signals upstream. Continue to follow the olfactory nerves to their final destination, your brain. Naegleria fowleri initiates a massacre and releases an onslaught of various attack molecules. Some of them are basically little bombs that rip holes into your cells on contact so their pieces can be eagerly consumed. The amoebae engage your brain cells, suck them in, and rip large bites out of them while they're still alive. Now things escalate quickly and the disease that will kill you sets in. Antibodies, usually one of your superweapons, are just destroyed or swallowed. Are easily disabled. Fever that usually slows enemies down does nothing as the amoeba actually thrives in the heat. All the while, the amoebae continue to multiply, fight and devour your brain cells. Fluid enters the brain. At this point, the human will feel symptoms that quickly escalate. It all begins pretty vaguely: a headache, fever, nausea and vomiting. As the battle spreads rapidly through the brain, serious symptoms appear, from confusion, inability to concentrate, to fatigue, seizures and hallucinations. The brain swells up massively but can't expand due to the bones surrounding it. So it compresses and disables the brainstem that controls things like breathing. Usually within a week, the patient dies. Up to 97% of the patients infected by the amoeba share this fate. In almost all cases, by the time an infection by Naegleria fowleri is recognized, the disastrous battle for the brain is already so far along that there is almost nothing to be done. Not only do we currently not have effective treatments, there are also an abundance of open questions about how an amoeba that usually enjoys its life in open water is able to overcome our immune system so effectively. So how worried do you need to be about this horrifying killer amoeba? Well, not very. While the Naegleria fowleri is clearly extremely deadly and the infection truly horrible, there have only been a few hundred cases in the last few decades.
This has been a Cincinnati production. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. If you'd like to support the channel, links are in the description.